All right, hey everyone. So we're going to do a quick follow-up on the Google Cloud function, so the serverless function within Google Cloud. So once we've created one, what we could then do is we could potentially go into it and edit it and make it do something a little bit more interesting. So once you've clicked into the function, up here on the very top, there's an edit button. And what we could do inside of edit is then jump to the code section. So there's this configuration. We don't really want to change anything there. And then once we hit code, we can then go in and sort of play around with it. So what I've done is I've created some example code that I've then shared with you under the 504 repo. So under module 5, there's something here called GCP default, which provides the default code for just like a simple serverless function provided by Google. And then the second one then, just GCP function, is one that is a little bit more unique, where instead of taking in a name, we're looking for values of systolic and diastolic either within the argument or within the body of the request. And then once we retrieve those, we then convert them into strings, we convert the strings into numbers. So we're then using this systolic equals float systolic and diastolic equals float diastolic. And then if the systolic is less than 90, we say below normal. If systolic is between 90 and 120 within normal range, or if systolic then is less than 90 or any other value, it's then above normal range. So that is then what the function is then going to do. So all we need to do, so again, if I were just to delete this, so what the function will look like for you guys right now is something that looks like this, right? So that's the default one. And if we were just to test this, start testing, this will take a couple seconds, right? Just we'll spin up. But while we're waiting for that, right, so here in the body, we could change name to Hans. And I think this will be done in just a second. All right, so we will then authorize. Okay, now we are ready to go. So with the default, right, if we just say name equals Hans, we run. Response is hello Hans, which is expected there. Now, what we've done in this updated one, so let's now kind of copy and paste this over. It's looking for different arguments of either systolic and then diastolic. Let's change this to 30 over 90. And again, everything here is in quotes. So let's run test. Let's hit run. There we go. Okay, so execution response, systolic 130 is above normal range, diastolic is 90. So all this is giving us for right now is just an interpretation of the systolic value. So now if we were to actually deploy this, so let's close this little cloud shell, or I guess we could leave it open, and hit this deploy button. So now what that's going to do is it's going to deploy it. And here's our URL for then attempting to play or send a value over to this. So then here what we can do, let's say GCP function bp test.py. So we'll import requests. The URL is going to be the URL that was provided to us, say the body, systolic, do 150, diastolic, say 100, and then we will say, yeah, we could say this, response equals request dot post URL JSON equals body, and we'll print the response. So if we load up this first part here, let me just start a new terminal. Okay, so we got body, then let's send the response or send a request. And there we go, right? Systolic 150 is above normal range. Let's change it to 100. And then we could rerun this. 100 is within normal range. And let's see what happens when we just try and send it as a number. Yeah, still works because it's converting it to a number. But if we were to try and do something, let's say 80.5, let's see if that messes it up. Oh, still works. Cool. So that's the basic premise, right? So building off of functions, again, serverless is we're running one sort of particular function here to do a particular task. So blood pressure, simple example, when we're trying to create some type of scoring criteria, but we could, do whatever we want. All right, so that was our follow-up.